Property, gold, or shares. Here's what they don't tell you, unless you're filthy rich. I don't know whether you guys know, but they told us to diversify. But they didn't tell you the game was rigged from the start. While millennials were busy downloading ComSec, Gen Zs were sold crypto dreams, and boomers kept stacking gold bars like Bond villains, one asset class quietly kept winning. And it wasn't because it's the best, it's because it's the most manipulated. Today guys, in this episode, we're unpacking property versus gold versus shares. And it's not what you learn in high school commerce, but it's actually what's been going down over the past 20 years. So right now guys, this is what we're unpacking today. Which asset class, property, shares, or gold really performed best over the past 20 years? Why volatility is just code for we don't want you playing the rich people's game. How housing became the least risky scam with the biggest payoff, and why millennials and Gen Z keep getting told to start small while politicians hoard 8 investment properties without you even knowing. So today guys, get ready for this episode because today is gonna get spicy. Let's go. So firstly, let's smash this off. For those that invest in shares, you might hear the old age myth, oh, shares are volatile. Let's look at the pros and cons. Now, to quote mainstream media, I'm quoting from ABC Business, they quote, shares offer easy access to high growth potential, but are vulnerable to political instability, end quote. And on a contrarian view to shares, to quote Nassim Taleb, the author of Fooled by Randomness, he says, quote, volatility isn't a bug. It's a feature designed to scare off retail investors. Now, aside from looking from the pros and the cons, let's look at the data. According to the ASX data, the All Ordinaries Index grew by just 3.1% per annum over the last 20 years and had 4 major crashes: the GFC in 2008, Euro debt in 2011, COVID 2020, and recent inflation pullback in 2022 and 2023. Now, amidst all this data, this is my take, guys. Shares are the casino of the middle class. You're not really investing. You're just betting on CEOs you've never met, hoping they don't get caught cooking the books. And I know what you're thinking. You say, hey Q, but I'm getting franked dividends. Sure, guys. But no leverage, no tax-free capital growth on sale, and no equity on redraw. I mean, like, guys, try using your CBA shares as collateral for your next home loan. That's not gonna work. But I know what you're thinking, guys. Maybe you're not into betting into shares. Maybe you want something safe, something timeless, something shiny. In this part of the video, I'll talk about how you think gold is safe unless you want income, leverage, or a loan. Now again, guys, let's look at the pros and cons. And this is me quoting the Australian Financial Review. Quote, gold is a timeless store of value and safe haven asset. End quote. However, guys, when you look at the critic review, the contrarian view of it, according to finance satirist Vic Naylor, he says, quote, gold is like that boomer uncle who's reliable, shiny, but never pays for dinner. End quote. And again, looking from both sides, let's look at the data at the moment. Gold surged post-GFC, rising over 300% between 2007 and 2011, but stagnated from 2012 to 2018. It only rallied again during COVID. And in terms of long-term strategy, guys, in terms of growth, it approximated 6.9% per annum. And on top of that, guys, you know what? There was zero passive income. And this is my take, guys. Owning gold is like dating someone hot but emotionally unavailable. I mean, it's there for the apocalypse, but it's ghosting you during brunch. I mean, guys, try using gold bar to buy groceries or finance a duplex in Blacktown. And on the flip side, guys, property earns rent, and even shares, they earn dividends. While for gold, it just sits there looking smug. And I know right now you're thinking, hey Q, well, what do I do? So if shares are chaotic and gold is a commitment phobe, well, what's left? Well, let's talk about one investment your parents won't shut up about. And I'm talking about the bloody boomers that bought 30 years ago. Right now, we're talking about property, the one Ponzi scheme the government protects. Again, let's quote the mainstream media views that is supporting property to offer a balanced view. To quote CoreLogic RP data, they said, residential property is Australia's most stable and reliable asset. While the skeptics of those doomsayers say, oh, housing is a pyramid scheme, and we made you the base, end quote. And this is from the macro business editor, Leif Van Ooselen. But aside from that left-wing and right-wing view, let's look at data, guys. ABS, which is Australian Bureau of Statistics, plus CoreLogic report, it says the median Australian dwelling price has risen from $250,000 in 2003 to over $790,000 in 2023. That's over 6% compound annual growth, guys. And at 4% rental yield, that's over 10% return for the leveraged investors. And unfortunately, mostly the goddamn boomers. So here's my take, guys. Property is like Monopoly. Except boomers started the game with 4 hotels and we got handed the electric company. The only reason it's safe is because the banks, politicians, and media are all on it, guys. Because I'm telling you guys, negative gearing and tax loopholes, you don't see that in gold or shares. I'm telling you, when you buy property, it's a gated asset class with a velvet rope of policy. But guys, you're watching this, I know what you're thinking. You're like, hey Q, you're a mortgage broker. Your reason you're making these videos is to get more leads, to spin more of your services. Guys, here's the real kicker. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking if property is so powerful, why are young Aussies told to start with shares instead? And this is where I'll talk about why millennials and Gen Zs get gaslit into starting with shares. To quote old mate Barefoot Investor author, he says young people should begin with micro investing to learn good financial habits. End quote. But then if you catch Scott Pape at the pub when he's off script, he'll say something like, quote, telling broke kids to invest $5 a week in ETFs is financial gaslighting, end quote. The irony there, guys. So amidst all this confusion about shares, property, gold, let's look at the data. The average first home deposit in Sydney is now over $160,000. Meanwhile, Gen Z has a medium net worth under $20,000. And those micro investing apps, that's just modern day piggy banks with a nice UI. So guys, here's my take. Imagine telling someone who's drowned to learn to swim in a puddle. That's what a $10 a week ETF investing looks like in this market. The only reason they tell you to buy shares is because you can't afford property, not because it's better. Like, it's just like consolidation price dressed up as a strategy. So guys, if you watched thus far, thank you for paying attention. You guys are loyal fans and also the smart investors. So right now, we've unpacked all 3: shares, gold, and property. Right now, guys, it's time for some real talk. Let's roast the institutions profiting from all this mess. Let's talk about the real winners. You know who's not comparing gold versus shares versus property at the moment? If you know what I'm thinking, I'm pointing my fingers at the politicians. Politicians with 9 properties, or maybe Peter Dunn with his 30 property portfolio. Those guys that benefit from tax-free capital gains and a negative geared home. And you know who else, guys? The major banks, who won't touch crypto profits, ignore gold bars, and love lending against property portfolios. Because they know if you default, they will win anyway. And while I'm at this roast, I want to shout out to those financial influencers. You know who you are. You guys out there flocking stock tips to your 19-year-old followers who can't even afford their afterpay bill. So after watching this video, this is my final summation. I personally think gold is for doomsday preppers, shares are for gamblers, and property, that's for insiders, like my clients who are playing the game at the moment using my holistic lending services. Because the truth is, guys, you can still win the game at the moment. All it takes is for you to get a holistic lending strategy to prepare yourself into the property market. So these are the 2 things I suggest you to do. Either book a 50-minute strategy call with me or a 60-minute strategy call with me to deep dive into your situation, get a tailored solution, and amongst that, get independent advice from my financial advisor, which don't work for me. They all own their own independent companies. Get your financial advice. If you want, I can introduce you to my accountants. And if you want, you can speak to my respectable buyer's agents to work out where is the best place to buy right now. Because I'm telling you guys, if you're relying on shares, gold, but not dipping your feet into property, you're bloody losing out, guys. And again, guys, all this stuff is just my opinion. It's not financial advice. So if you love this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button to follow me for more videos like this. And most importantly, hit the share button and share it to your mates who need to know more information about this.